So, we're not doing the baler rescuing the 658 today either. This is like the third or fourth time I've postponed it because Mechanic Steve showed up, and instead of me bothering him to fix old tractors, he's bothering me to Fabri-cobble a bumper on his truck. So long story short, Mechanic Steve's service truck did not have the world's greatest bumper on it, and I scrapped a truck. I made some stuff out of it, but I scrapped one that had a really, really nice rear bumper. I'm like, hey Steve, let's get this on your truck. It's like, yeah, let's. So we put some mounts on it, and once we had them on there, we realized we welded them on in the wrong places. It's okay, I've only used a welder twice in my life. And so today we go to the scrapyard. And so there's a place in my town. I live in a fairly small town. There's really only one place that sells steel and also buys scrap, at least that I know of. And I don't really go there because it's really expensive compared to the steel distributor I go to up in the city. But if you just need one piece of steel, that's where you go. So I'm like, see, we'll just go over here. We'll just buy like one piece of channel iron. Have to get a 10-foot stick. It'll be fine. We get there. We're talking to the lady. Oh, we only have those in 20-foot pieces, and we can't sell you half it. You have to buy the whole thing. I'm like, well, shoot. And she's like, or you can just go out back and, rummage around, find something that'll work. What do you mean out back? And she looks at me like I have 3 heads, and she says something like, we're a scrapyard. And that's when it dawns on me after going to this place for almost 4 years. They actually sell things. They're a scrapyard that sells stuff. A lot of them don't because they don't want people rummaging through their stuff. But this place will sell stuff. So, Mechanic Steve and I, really just Mechanic Steve, he wanders around and finds this really nice channel iron drop, like 5 feet long, a little under 4 feet, I guess, while I'm staring at broken tractors and thinking about and like taking pictures of them and stuff. And so anyway, we get 2 pieces of this. We really only needed 1 piece, but we have this much left over. We have like 1.5 inches left. So let's rip this down to size here real quick, and then we'll weld this onto Steve's truck, I suppose. Hey, are you gonna show that? Yeah, fun stuff. That was a fun trip. I'll probably like buy all kinds of junk from that place. Anyway, it was cool because this is almost 100 pounds of steel. I needed 1 little piece of 3-inch square tube, and Steve was like, oh, I'll just pay for that too. It was really chill of him. And it was 97 pounds of steel for, what was it, Steve, like $33 or something?
Yeah, something like that.
So that was like, about 33 cents a pound roughly, or 30 cents, whatever it was. That's, I think, a little bit, about half of what my steel distributor actually sells new steel for, and that was before the prices went up a couple years ago. I don't even know what it is now. But anyway, it was a really good deal. Now we just got to cut this down to length. A good horizontal bandsaw like this, like most things, man, you don't need it every day, but when you need it, you really need it. I love this thing. I think that coolant has seen better days though. Ah, look at that, it's all nasty. How close do you want this?
When we first had this bumper, we welded these on, and they were perfect. It slid right on here. The problem is it put the bottom of the bumper here. So it was just way too low, and with the truck being a 4-wheel drive truck, the bumper would have just got knocked off, or worse, I would have gotten stuck somewhere.
Alright, so I know most of you guys already know this, but you look at these and you're like, Chucky, that's some pretty heavy. I don't think we ever actually measured this. 7-inch, that's an odd size. That's some really heavy 7-inch channel iron. Why would you need something like that to hold a bumper onto a truck? And the reason is because most of you guys know, how channel iron functions. It's very, very strong, like these pieces here. It's very, very strong in this way like this. It's not very strong in ways like this. So with these holding on Mechanic Steve's bumper, if he gets his truck stuck, again, and needs to pull it out, and and someone's pulling on this with a 120 horsepower tractor and they're not pulling just straight, you want really beefy channel because it has to be a lot stronger than it needs to be this ways to be able to resist the force of the truck being pulled this a ways. And man, that's Steve got his truck stuck in a pasture, I don't know, a while ago. And he made a video, he's like, man, my 12,000 pound service truck is stuck. And people were like, they would post things like, I Googled how much does a 2003 or whatever it is F350 weigh? And they said 5,200 pounds, so you're a liar.
Yeah.
Plus, for those that don't know, obviously like plus the tool bed, plus like thousands and thousands of pounds, I don't know, it's just, yeah, we got these done. Shoot, Steve, what do you think? We gotta rip the mounts off of this thing, right?
Yep.
And we have to figure out how far apart we need to mount these so we can come in and notch this. This bumper, I have no idea who made this. They did a brilliant job on this thing. I mean, you look, this is 2 pieces of really heavy channel iron. One's going like this, one's going like that. Then they ran 4 giant gussets. The welds are smooth. They rounded off the corners. Whoever built this thing did a phenomenal job on it. It's an old thing too. It's probably done with like a Miller-Matic 200 or something back in the 70s. But man, they built it right. All right, yeah, and we Fabri-cobbled some D-rings on there. Let's fire up the torch. I hope we don't run out of oxygen. I need to have those bottles refillified.
We'll just cut a hose, you can blow into it. I don't know how to use this. Is it righty lefty?
Hey, you're getting it. That's not so bad. It's usually easier if you start at the top and go down.
Tell me what to do.
Steve really wanted to use the torch today for some reason. It'll go faster though if you rotate that up a little bit so that the flame is both on the face you're heating now and the vertical face. Other way. Yeah, like that. Yeah, perfect. See how that works? Now you're preheating both sides. Not bad for a mechanic. How was it? Was it everything you hoped to be?
Well, you know, back in my day, we used hacksaw blades for everything. We just wrapped electrical tape around it, but this works okay. At least when I'm doing it on my own, I don't have some commentator back there telling me how to do it.
Hey, I'm here to help.
You're here to antagonize.
In a helpful way. Man, this is fun. This is the kind of thing I like doing. Steve, I'm impressed. You didn't even need the hammer. More often than I would like to admit, even I have things that hang on by one little thread and you don't see it. Yeah, yep. Hey, you got it. You even know how to turn it off the right way. Not bad.
I'm just very, very surprised that I didn't actually catch the hoses on fire. Because that's usually what I do when I'm using cutting torches. I'm like, and no, that's not a joke. It happened to me like 3 times.
I appreciate it. I'm going to let you figure out where exactly we need to cut it, because if anyone's wrong, I want it to not be me.
Yeah, it needs to be you. You and only you.
We'll blame it on the goat.
That way I can sue you.
Stupid goat distracted me.
No, if you mess it up, I'm going to sue you for the $31.
Instead of notching this channel and then welding those 4-sided pieces on to this surface here, we were like, man, it really wouldn't be a bad idea to gain 2 extra inches of lift for this bumper. And the other thing is, my experience with notching sidewalls and channel iron like this is it's very tedious and time consuming, and you know, you got to take a die grinder and get everything perfectly flat. Like there's this weld in here which might interfere. It's just, I don't like doing it. So we're putting these pieces of channel iron here, and then those vertical plates will mount like this into these channel iron pieces. So I tacked these in place with just some 1/8" 6010. Then we're going to weld these with some 1/8" 7018. We got the old trans pocket fired up here, 115 amps, and should get it done. Let's see what happens here. I don't know where I set my actual slag chip hammer. All right, let's do the underside.
Eat your Wheaties, Chucky!
That was before.
Woo!
Stand the reference. There goes a finger.
Yeah, hey, now you're giving that noggin a jogging.
a lot more complicated than I thought.
I know.
It's like angles and shit.
Dude, I maintain if you hold it, I can just hit it real quick.
Alright. How far out do we need to stick out?
Okay, so 9 inches to go under the full dealio. So that would probably be fine. I mean, if it's 8, that's gonna be fine too, you know?
How many inches wide is this speed square?
7. So that's probably 8.5 inches.
Alright, that's great.
You gotta be kidding me! Oh no! Oh no! Oh! Okay, made it work. Made it work. Okay. Did we get it? Yeah. Yeah, maximum precision.
Why not?
Oh my goodness. All right, well, we can see where the hole started. Let's drill holes there. You know, waiting to be used, and they got rained on and whatnot, so I took the liberty of letting them soak in this old diesel fuel mixture so that all the, like, rust chunks and stuff from off the floor and dirt and stuff will come off. So Steve's gonna clean those up, and while he's doing that, I'm gonna come over here. This is how the bumper faces off the back of the truck. Obviously, this would be going into someone's shin, so we need to trim those back.
Were you at Tractor Supply with me the other day?
No, what happened?
It's Justin. We go to Tractor Supply. We're looking around for something, and there's this Honda pressure washer unit sitting there.
Yeah.
And it says, was 350, now 300.
Okay.
It's just the engine. There's no pressure washer pump on it. So either you can buy the complete everything for $350, or for $50 less, you can buy one with a motor. I don't even understand how this happened at Tractor Supply. I mean, you worked there.
Yeah.
If somebody took back a pressure washer minus the pressure washer on it,
We're not taking that back. I mean, we wouldn't, but it's one of those deals where, like, if the guy's buddy, dude, I tell you what, when I worked at this place, some friend of a friend, really shady guy, found out I worked there, and he's like, hey man, you know, if you come in on this deal to commit return fraud with me, I'll give you $25 for this. It's like, no, get out. But that's the thing, man. People do that kind of stuff. All right, double check. I'll grab a larger wrench. Let me give me a hammer and smack it upwards once.
okay.
Hey,
Huh?
take this one now.
Yeah. Had to make it different sizes, didn't we? Gonna keep the thieves confused.
Ready to start rolling?
You know, if this thing starts to fall, you immediately dive underneath it. Alright, we'll do it.
One, two, lift on 3? Yep. 1, 2, 3. Got it.
Oh no! There goes your hammer, I heard the shot.
Steve, you owe me a free warranty replacement Harbor Freight hammer. Alright, why don't you give it a shove? Let's see. feel that?
Yeah.
That's like a dead wall.
Yeah, I caught on something there. We got here.
It's like, man, I am no bodybuilder, but I am not that weak. It's gotta be like that one little bracket that's hanging off the front of this thing. Hey, let's check this tailgate before we do anything. How about that? Okay?
Yeah.
You like it? Oh yeah.
Now, Steve! It's gonna go that way now.
Here, see, look at this difference. I bet we gotta scoot it half. I bet it's a ½ inch. All right, yeah, you know, actually, that's probably it. 2.5 inches. 2¼ inches. See, this is not a fine line. Now it's like 2¼ there. I guess it was 2.8 before. 2¼ Yeah, that's. You think that's good? We could probably get it a little closer. Take a look and tell me what you think.
Well, there's fire up there, man.
All right. I like it.
All right,
Let's get your bad jokes.
let's go ahead and take it back off so we can paint it.
Hey, you guys know that's one thing I've talked about. The secret to success on any custom bumper build. Now we couldn't really do this time because obviously this started as a complete bumper. We had to fit it on here. That's a little different than building one from scratch. You build it in place and you do not take it off, period. You build the mounts, then you put like, you know, usually I build the mounts, then I build the top, and then the rest of the way down. Some people, and to be fair, I learned this the hard way too. Some people will take the bumper on and off the truck like 20 times throughout the series of the build. Do not do that. Don't take it off, period, unless you're sending it to like powder coat when you're done or something. Other than that, it stays on. Nothing good comes from taking the things off. That's when you scratch your vehicle. That's when you drop stuff. And it's just a mess. And there's really no reason why it's necessary, barring, you know, existential circumstances. But man, I'm enjoying this. This is a fun project. This is the kind of thing I like doing. I'm just hanging out, working on a T-Ruck.
Hey, it'll be nice having a welding video back on your channel.
Yeah, dude, I never make these. I'm sure people whine about it in the comments like every day. Alright, I like it. I'm going to give the inside of this 2 more passes. You know, we have 4 welds, probably, I don't know, 5.5, 6 inches long. It'll probably be fine, but this way we know it'll be fine. You can never underestimate, you know, anytime, and you guys know this, anytime you build something like this, you have to think, worst case scenario. Worst case scenario with this thing is, what did you say this thing weighs, Steve? Like 12,000 pounds or something?
Yeah, like 11.2.
All right, so like 11,000 pounds sunk up to the axles in mud, like the stickiest mud you've ever seen. And Steve's doing construction repair and he's getting pulled out by like a D6 Caterpillar or something. That's a lot of force, and whatever lets loose, you don't really want it to be your weld. So it's, like I say, I think it'll be fine, but this thing go. I don't know, cheesy saying, I'm trying to remember. Anyway, just overbuild everything. You probably did. She was here once. She's not a bad looking girl, man. Obviously that's an airbrush.
Well, yeah.
But I mean, she's 95% that pretty. Do either of us actually know any like YouTube appropriate small talk to make while you're filming this?
No. Nope, not at all.
All right, we got a 3BT there. You can see we got bumper. channel iron, whatever that thing is, but it's really strong, so we're kind of counting on it. And over here, oh, look at that. That's, I wonder if anyone recognizes the logo of the steel company there. Is that a 5? I don't know. That's way more than 5 inches. Okay, whatever. And then another 3-bead T over here. And then same dealio. All right. What's your theory, Steve? Is it YouTube appropriate?
Yeah.
All right, hit us up.
Okay. So when we welded the D-rings on, we didn't weld them up high enough for these rings to actually sit down, right?
Yes, that was a mistake.
So driving them around, if these were high enough,
Yeah.
and you're driving around, what are these going to do?
They're gonna clang around.
The entire time I'm driving, I'm going to hear that. Right? But if they're here, they're still going to clang,
But not as much.
not near as much.
Dude,
So I really think that like we inadvertently made a mistake that came out favorable. You know, now time will tell when I drive down the road if these are clanging like hell, then I'll put some rubber around them or something. But I really think, you know, it's weird when you're working on stuff, especially when you're fabricating, how you think something at first is a problem and then you use it and you're like, wow, this actually worked out better.
This came out really well. Yeah, you know what? This is for the best, definitely. But I will throw in here, to be honest, that with the green truck I used to have that had D-rings on the back and the front, I believe. Been a while since I made that bumper. Time goes fast. I never heard them, ever. I think they stay pretty chill on the highway. And if you're like driving across the field or something, then everything in the whole truck is all bum, 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 bum. No, but yes, I like this. I feel like today has gone really well. Steve and I were talking about this. I mean, we got the bandsaw cutting stuff out, perfect angle. Don't have to jack with it. Don't have to cut it, you know, and then like clean it up with a grinder all day. You know, the milling machine is punching out those holes in seconds. Everything. I'm really thankful for how well today has gone. Not so much the first time we did this when we didn't think about the mounts correctly, so we had to cut them off. And obviously the D-rings, we should have put those like 2 inches higher up. But that's the thing. A lot of people don't realize, you know, and we've talked about this, it's really easy to watch people build stuff, like obviously in my case on the internet, but otherwise in real life or whatever. And then when you get to the end of it, be like, oh, I would have done that, you know, differently. I would have put this over here. You know what? We have the same exact thoughts. When I don't think I've ever built something and not said afterwards, man, if I was going to do another one of these, we'd do this a little differently or that, you know, this way instead. That's just the way it goes. So, I mean, you know, no, we don't claim to be perfect, especially when, like this thing, this bumper it's off something that I was selling pieces and parts off of. I think I scrapped large chunks of it. It's like, hey, man, you want a bumper? Yeah, sure, we'll figure out how to put it on here. And, and we did it, and that's that.
When I get it home and I wire wheel it or whatever I decide to do with it, I might just, I'm going to wire wheel some of it. I'll probably do some paint remover and the rest. Get a nice coat of paint on there, some undercoating or something, and then I might go to like a Line-X place just to see how much it'd be just to Line-X the whole thing, because that might be like $100. And really, if you did it that way, I don't have to worry about another, you know, making it look cool. But the bumper that was on here was just absolutely trash.
It was like, really bad.
If I stood on that bumper and did this, you could hear it going and make this horrible squeaking sound. The entire bumper would do this and it would flop. And
it was bad, guys.
If you were driving behind me, and people make this comment all the time, if you were driving behind my truck, I had that vise on it, and you'd see the bumper just doing this and this vise just shaking all over the place. And I destroyed that vise. It was a nice Wilton vise, and it's trash now for 2 reasons. One, because of that, and 2, because the employee that had this truck decided to cut the jaws off the vise one day. Did I tell you that?
Yep, you told me this story. He's like,
so
this vice doesn't need jaws.
It closes. You've got these. What are they?
Like jaw inserts or whatever.
Yeah, inserts. There's a ledge that this insert sits on, like here, and so he decided, since he didn't close the vise all the way to hold the inserts together, because on a service truck, if you don't close the vise all the way or have something in between the jaws, the set screws in there loosen up from all the vibration and they fall out. So one of the jaw inserts fell out one day, and he's like, oh, look at this ledge here. This shouldn't be here. And he got an angle grinder out and ground it all smooth. Just completely ruined the vibe.
Oh my
anyway,
goodness.
That's a different story. But yeah, man, I think I'll either paint this or have it Line-X or something. And then It'd be a legit bumper, especially
Nice.
for, I mean, you could hang this truck upside down with these D-rings and this bumper on it and be fine.
I'm glad you like it.
Yeah.
This was a pretty cost-effective upgrade too. What did this cost, Steve? 30 bucks in steel today and like 40 bucks for D-rings.
Yeah, it was, probably about 70 bucks total. Now, given that I had Chucky do a lot of the welding on it, and if you're going to pay a welder to do it, it'd be tremendously more expensive.
Oh yeah.
There were some things that Chucky threw in, like he didn't charge me for the rods, he didn't charge me for the gas and the oxyacetylene and stuff, so there is more cost to this stuff. But, a lot of you guys make comments, or leave stuff in the comments about Chucky and I's relationship, about, I was like, he's always buying tractors for you to work on. It's like, it's a mutually beneficial relationship. Chucky does a lot of stuff for me, I do a lot of stuff for him. And my personal theory is, like, if you're a close friend of mine, I don't keep tabs on nothing. I don't sit there and think, okay, well, I spent 6 hours at Chucky's house on the Pathfinder this day, so Chucky owes me 6 hours of labor. If you do that, then you're not going to have any friends, and that's just not the way to be. Like, I don't give a crap. I can spend a week over here helping Chucky with stuff, never think about it a second time, and if he brought it up 2 months later, I have no clue what he's talking about. And then I don't expect, Chucky to come over and go to my shop for a week, just because I spent a week over here or whatever. It doesn't work that way. But I'm confident that if I needed something, and it's like I'm going to move houses pretty soon. I'm going to need a lot of help when I move houses. I'm planning on building a shop myself, and I'm sure he'll be right there with me. And that's just kind of the
Truck and trailer ready to go.
That's how blue collars, skilled trade guys usually are that way. We usually have each other's backs, and whatever the case is. But bumper's on the truck, and I'm really happy with it.
Good. I'm glad. Yeah, that should be very, very sturdy. And yeah, man, this thing, I wonder how many trucks it's been on. The truck this is off of, this was the green F350 dually with I think it was a 460 gas engine that like 2+ years ago, 3 years ago, I put in the V8 tractor. And this was just on the back of it. I'm told it was a hot shot truck. But it only had like 80,000 miles on it. I presume it's rolled over once or like 5 times or whatever, but there's really no way to tell. And this is one of the things that survived from it. What else is there? Where's that welder cart? I made a welder cart out of the front suspension on that, remember? It's this one with this machine on it. Yeah, like I kept some suspension parts. Like those were the dealios that held the other dealios on the front end. Steve's the mechanic. It's front end components, big Ford steel assemblies. Kept those. I don't know. I took a bunch of stuff off of that and put it on other stuff. I think the alternator ended up in one of the tractors. It doesn't really matter. Anyway, one day we will actually rescue the 658 round baler. I realize I've been saying that for like the last 3 videos, but it's just the way it goes. This is why, I mean, stuff like this, what we're doing today, is not the most time-sensitive stuff in the world. I suspect Steve doesn't really care if this happened tonight or tomorrow night, for instance. This is why, whenever possible, and if I have to make time commitments, I say I will do this sometime in the next 2 weeks if I plan to do it 3 days from now. That way, if it takes me 6 days to get to it, it's not that big of a deal. Whereas otherwise, obviously it's 3 days late. You can't always do that. Some people need stuff fixed like right now as soon as possible. But I like to give windows for doing things like this. And although we have not rescued the baler, which was like one of the first things I said I was going to do when I started making these vlogs, we have done a bunch of other stuff. I don't even remember what else is going in this video. It's been a long day. What was I doing earlier, Steve?
What were you working on when I first got here?
I was doing something. When you got here, I was looking at project trucks I don't need on Craigslist after eating lunch.
Yeah.
What did I do this morning? The round baler. I did I swapped the wheels and cleaned up the hubs and everything. Anywho, for the 12 of you who don't know Mechanic Steve, go check out his channel.
My channel!
Yeah!
It's where all the fun stuff happens.
Except for what's on mine! And yeah, you got a bumper now. Happy New Year. Thanks for watching, everyone. This has probably been either very interesting or just the most boring thing in the universe. If people keep watching these videos, I will continue to make them. Cheers.